Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. In a new interview on CNN between host Julia Chatterley and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, Brad did state that Ripple, it's a possibility Ripple may move forward without XRP. XRP could be replaced with something else, yet unnamed. It is true he said that, and crypto media has been reporting on that, but here's the thing, and this is a big but, and I cannot lie. Mainstream, not just mainstream, crypto media has not been providing full context for what's going on because it's nowhere near as scary and damaging a position as you may think just on the surface. And so I sit here wondering if some of that is intentional, in particular from some of the news outlets that are, let's just say, a little less than friendly to Ripple and XRP. And you know what this actually did for me, though? After learning this information from Brad, it provided some clarity and for a potential path forward, even in a worst case scenario. And this clarity made me feel more confident in Ripple and XRP, and I will explain why as we go through this video. Now, I want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a very fun hobby about XRP and Ripple and crypto, and that is indeed all that it is. I very much appreciate the support, though. Now, there's so many new subscribers jumping on board of the channel and new people jumping into crypto in general, so I want to add a little bit of a context to set the table a little bit before going forward any further, because this is not the first time that the idea of utilizing RippleNet, specifically on-demand liquidity, which is a part of RippleNet, could occur without the use of XRP. Now, the way that it's set up now, to this day, as I record this, on-demand liquidity is functional 24/7, 365 days a year. And so it's always up. And to this point, it requires the usage of XRP, but that's just because Ripple says that it requires the XRP and that it has to, which makes sense because Ripple's the largest stakeholder in XRP. They have the most to lose if the XRP ecosystem goes south. They have the most to gain if it thrives. And so they are doing their best, which shouldn't be surprising just using normal human logic. It should not be surprising that they're doing their best to facilitate and be a cheerleader for a very healthy XRP ecosystem with everything that they're doing. You can look at what they're doing with RippleX, formerly known as Spring. That's the development arm of Ripple, which promotes XRP adoption as well as blockchain adoption in general. There's so many projects that are being funded. You can think about what Ripple's done for Coil, for example, which has created a new form of web monetization and is also live today. A whole separate use case for XRP. There's so many examples. But there could be instances where it makes sense to not use XRP, and you could be on the surface like, but why? XRP, it's energy efficient, it's fast, it costs almost nothing to transact. How could that ever be the case? Perfect question, and I'm going to answer that. Here's a piece from the Daily Hodl. This came out December 5th, 2020, and it's titled, "Ripple Open to Using Additional Crypto Assets Aside from XRP, Says CEO Brad Garlinghouse." Ripple Chief Executive Brad Garlinghouse says the San Francisco payments firm could one day utilize cryptocurrencies aside from XRP. In a new interview with CNN, Garlinghouse addresses whether the company is open to using stablecoins or other digital assets in current or future products. And here was Brad Garlinghouse's answer. This is a quote. "The short answer is yes. Stablecoins are a little bit different and unique because even if you have a stablecoin that is dollar denominated, you still have that cross-currency problem. We also, though, did design our products to be efficient such that if we entered a market where XRP had very little liquidity, that we could use a different digital asset where there might be more liquidity, the spreads would be tighter." So let me pause right there before going on with the rest of the quote. That makes all of the sense in the world. So one of the things I've been talking about on this channel for some time is that it's not exactly Ripple's fault that there are only a handful of on-demand liquidity corridors open today. Because XRP, the price action and pretty much every other metric associated with it, it's outside of the control of Ripple. They seriously, if you just look at a chart to go back since the inception of XRP, it just in a general sense follows the price action of Bitcoin. This is provably true. This cannot be logically disputed. Some people dispute it because they want to drive a narrative, but it can't be logically and factually disputed. It just can't. And so, as far as why there aren't more on-demand liquidity corridors open, and this is a key thing to understand, there isn't sufficient liquidity for the crypto asset class. I mean, I don't know exactly what the market cap is for XRP right as I record this, because there's been some recent price movement to the upside. I don't know if maybe it's closer to $30 billion or something at this point. You're talking about, and I know XRP is fast, but still, you're talking about daily flows around the planet internationally of $5 trillion. I'm sorry, guys, there isn't enough liquidity in crypto markets around the world to just like snap of a finger, convert that all from the Swift legacy system over to XRP. And so part of this does require a waiting game. Whereas Bitcoin leads the market, it grows a bigger pie, and XRP is part of that. And then as there's an increased blend of price and liquidity, then you can have more corridors open. That's a very key thing to understand. And so, and Ripple has done other things, like they've launched a line of credit, which is, it allows entities to borrow XRP and then pay it back. Just in very short-term loans, just so that they can facilitate these transactions. So there's stuff like that, but which is clever. But still, the biggest problem is there's a lack of liquidity, and it's not like Ripple controls this. It's not their fault. They need a bigger crypto pie in general. You're talking about, for the crypto asset class, the market cap for the asset class, it's under $2 trillion, and over half of that's Bitcoin. So come on, you just have to wait for maturation of the asset class. So in corridors, if it is in theory that this could happen sometime, there are corridors where there isn't enough liquidity for XRP to facilitate these transactions with XRP as a bridge. You could utilize, in place of that, a different cryptocurrency if it happens to be more liquid for a specific corridor. If there's a sufficient blend of price, and so obviously it could be a crypto that's not as efficient or quick as XRP, but if it's better and faster and cheaper than the legacy financial system, all these things would be taken into consideration, but then you could use it. And so that's what they're talking about here. If XRP, because of the nascency of the asset class, isn't sufficiently liquid, then yeah, you consider using something else, but it doesn't mean that they're dishing XRP. It doesn't mean that XRP isn't a better solution. It just means that it's not sufficiently liquid. And here's the rest of the quote from Brad Garlinghouse now. We haven't yet found a need to do that, but certainly when we think about solving a customer problem, we do want to put the customer first. If we found there was a market somewhere on the globe where the efficiency between XRP and that fiat currency weren't a tight spread, we might look at using a different digital asset. And so there you go. We already knew that this was something that Ripple has thought through. This was not a secret. It could happen. Now, onto this piece, though, which came out today from the Daily Huddle. Ripple chief says company can operate without XRP, calls SEC's crypto lawsuit, quote, ironic. And so, yes, on-demand liquidity, it can technologically function without XRP if you plug something else in, but XRP still needs to be long-term viable in order for Ripple to be a company, because it's a primary funding mechanism for the company, which also is not a secret. I have no problem with it. They've been transparent about that for years. People that have a problem with it, fine. Then just, if you have that big of a problem, just maybe don't buy XRP if you got that much beef with it. Okay, nobody's forcing you to be here. But as long as there's transparency, because I find it appealing that there is such an important figure like Ripple that is being a cheerleader for the space. I personally like it. To me, that's a selling point. I want multiple developers building on top of the XRP ledger, which is the case. Ripple's just a very key one, right? And so this piece begins as follows. Ripple's chief executive Brad Garlinghouse says the fintech company could continue without XRP if need be, as the firm's legal battle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission continues. In a new interview with CNN, Garlinghouse says Ripple can conceivably march on without its XRP-based settlement platform if its case with the SEC over the company's alleged illegal sale of the crypto asset goes south. And that's actually incorrect. That's not what you stated, because the platform itself is on-demand liquidity. That's not what he was asked about. That's not what he answered. So this is not precise enough. And then this is an important detail. He was asked about XRP. And he said they could proceed without XRP. And so here's a quote, though, from Brad Garlinghouse. We could do that. We've always thought about our product as, How do we solve a customer's problem first and foremost? And I think that has served our growth. It's a reason why we have seen so much activity now. Billions and billions of dollars of transactions across RippleNet, our network for payments. And so right there, that's very similar to what he stated in December, actually, when he was talking about potentially using a different cryptocurrency in theoretical unique instances rather than XRP. And so they accurately wrote down what he said, but they left out what he was asked. And Julia Chatterley asked, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she asked, okay, could you go forward without XRP in the United States? She specifically said within the United States. And his response was, we could do that. Going to be clear. He stated that means in the United States, you could move forward with on-demand liquidity, but without XRP. To me, that's a good thing, because you're talking about a bad situation where XRP is effectively not allowed to be sold by Ripple at any sort of capacity. Okay, well, it's like that would be bad, but that provides additional clarity. So even Ripple, like they've thought through this here, they'd still continue existing. They'd still use XRP for on-demand liquidity the rest of the world. It would just be any endpoint that touches the United States, they'd have to use a different cryptocurrency. And so that wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good for United States citizens. It wouldn't be good for expatriates that live in the United States sending money back home. But they could do it, and it wouldn't shut down Ripple. And so, seeing that, and then they'd still build out the XRP ecosystem. And so a lot of the innovation with XRP would just happen elsewhere in the world, but it wouldn't shut them down. And so to me, upon seeing that and seeing that they actually see that as a potential path forward, to me, that just instilled a bit more confidence. Now, I still don't want that to be the case. The idea of XRP not being able to be used in any endpoint that has to do with the United States, that is ridiculous to me. It's like, yes, world, enjoy this incredible technology that was created by a United States company. United States can't use it, but the rest of the world, you enjoy it. It's fantastic stuff, we promise. It's just the idea of that, I gotta admit, it's kind of ridiculous. In theory, that could happen, but I don't know. It's like, to me, that's why I heard this thing, and the first thing I thought was, okay, you guys, you gotta paint the whole picture. You gotta add proper context. You gotta let people know that Julia Chatterley specifically asked about what would happen without XRP in the United States, and that's not being done here. So shame on you, Daily Hodl. I like this website, but this is poor reporting. This was not accurate. You've got to provide the full context here, or this is a disservice to anybody that's reading your stuff here. So I'm fixing the problem. I still like you, Daily Hodl. I don't normally make a mistake that's this important having to do with Ripple and XRP. So you get a freebie. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. Okay, but don't do it again. You're on the naughty list right now. Piece continues. The CEO adds that the digital payments giant has continued to do business, particularly business outside of the U.S., even as it faces its lawsuit with the SEC. And here's another quote. The good news for Ripple is we've continued to sign customers. We've signed over 20 new financial institutions around the world as customers since the SEC filed their lawsuit, and I think we're going to see the network grow very rapidly in non-US customers. And so there you go, SEC slowing down innovation and adoption of blockchain technology in the United States. Yay! Good times. Garlinghouse says the lawsuit is ironic given that the SEC claims Ripple illegally sold XRP as an unregistered security while simultaneously stating that the courts will ultimately determine the status of the crypto asset. And this is rich. I've talked about this on the channel, but it's fun hearing it from Brad Garlinghouse. And here's a final quote to wrap up the video. I find a certain irony that the SEC would bring a lawsuit against us because what they're saying is not just that we should have known and we've acted in bad faith, when the SEC themselves haven't really said, well, they know for sure that XRP is a security. In their own court filings, they said that the court will determine that, which of course brings a contradiction that if the court's going to determine that, how could I personally have known that the SEC would view XRP as a security? Exactly. It took them 8 years to figure out, oh yeah, we do now think it's a security, but Brad Garlinghouse was supposed to know the whole time. Yeah, what a bunch of nonsense. So anyway, I'll wrap up there, but all is right in the world. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.